So on March 9th, 1994, I was 9 years old. I was sitting in my family house with my younger brother, my youngest sister, and my older brother. And I don't really share this story too much, but it's part of my story. So on March 9th, 1984, while sitting in my family home, my dad was in Memphis, Tennessee. My mom was at work. She worked the night shift. And my older brother was there to watch me, my youngest sister, who at the time was 10 going on 11, and my youngest brother, or younger brother, who at the time was 6 and would have turned 7 in July. And on March 9th of 1994, my life completely was rocked. I don't talk about this too often, but the reality is, on this day is when my brother shot himself. We don't like to talk about suicide in the black community, yet alone anywhere, to be honest. As Christians and as believers and churchgoers, we don't like to talk about suicide. Well, it's my story. It's a part of who I am. It's a part of everything that makes me Adari Brown. And I can't run from it, can't deny it. But the reality is, that's the first time I experienced something so tragic at that young age. And the truth of the matter is, as I think about it today, I have this question of, you don't know what you don't know. I remember my brother being on the phone with his girlfriend telling her, you hang up this phone, I'm going to shoot myself. He said it more than once, probably said it 3 or 4 times. But did I ever know what he was he going to do it? Did I ever think it in my head? Not really. What would a 9-year-old really know about someone shooting themselves? Because to be honest, I never knew anyone who passed away. I grew up thinking that I'd turn into some superhero or have some superhero powers. I didn't think people died. I didn't know nothing about death. So for me, death hit right in front of me. So while my brother shot himself on March 9th, on March 10th, that morning he passed away. But the reality is the scars of that all these years later still sits with me. So people ask me, why do I go talk about mental health? Why do I talk about suicide prevention? Why do I talk about seeking help and getting help for others? Because I know what it feels like to lose a loved one. I know what it feels like to go through grief. At 9 years old, I couldn't express the feelings and emotions that I was going through because although I went through social workers and counseling and therapy, I didn't really know how to talk about my feelings. To me, it really didn't seep in that my brother was gone. But the ramifications of that still lives on inside of me each and every day and probably affects everyone in my family or anyone who my brother ever encountered and touched their life in a positive way. I wish I could sit down and have a conversation with some of his classmates to this day just to figure out what are their feelings, what are they going through, how did his death impact their lives to do some of the things that they're doing. And I guarantee you, some of them have went on and probably do some good things. I remember a friend of my brother's named Sean who followed my brother left and right. He was of a younger age than him, but I just remember the impact my brother used to instill in him. He was like a little brother to my brothers, just like I was. And the truth of the matter is, it's no telling how many other people lives were impacted by the tragic death of my brother. But the truth of the matter is, I know my life was impacted in a very great way. It created this hunger inside me. It created this person inside of me that didn't live. At 9 years old, I remember telling my family that I'm the older brother now, as I wrote my words in the obituary with a drawing. Or really, it was just my words. My little brother drew a drawing. But at 9, I said, I'm the older brother now. I got to take care of the family. So that mantra was passed on to me. And I really didn't know at 9 years old what that really entailed and what that meant. So my story is simply this. We all lose loved ones. Maybe you didn't lose your loved one in the way that I lost mine. But regardless of how you lost someone that you love and care about, carry on their legacy. They live inside of you every day. Grief has no timetable on it. Anything can trigger you in terms of the grief that you experience, but just know, regardless of what it is, that you are doing things to honor their legacy. And not only honor their legacy, you going on and they live inside of you as an example of who you are. It's the same way. Everybody who meets my parents always tell them, you raised a great son. You raised a good son. And the reality is the same things that my parents instilled to me are the same things that I took from my brother and the same things that I try to live by every day as I mentor, as I uplift and encourage others, and I give selflessly, not expecting anything back. So I encourage anyone who's going through anything, who's lost a loved one, to stay encouraged. Don't give up. Know that you are living a legacy that they would be proud of. And they looking down on you, or they are inside of you, and they making sure that you know that they proud of the person you became and the life that you live in. So be encouraged, be strong, and know that if I can live through what I've lived through, that you can live through what you're experiencing, and you will be better and stronger, and you will do some great things. So stay encouraged and stay positive.